Today I'm speaking with Beatrice Spaine. She is VP of Marketing at Pogo, which is a unit of Electronic Arts, which I believe is the world's largest publisher of video games, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so video games, enormous, big honkin' industry,
Yes.
bigger than Hollywood, right?
Yes.
In terms of total revenues. Obviously increasingly influential in our culture.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the number of users, but I'm sure there's more users than the people who've bought movie tickets and all that. And yet, still somehow under the radar. My sense is that people's sense of video games is that it's, not all that relevant to anything.
Yeah.
Please disabuse them of that thought.
Definitely. We live in a society where everyone plays games, but very few people will show their hands up and say, yes, I play games. And what you see is a stereotypical view of the gamer as an 18 or 25-year-old guy. What you're actually seeing is...
In his mom's basement.
In his mom's, exactly.
Yeah.
Reality is it's actually everyone. And you're now seeing, for social gaming and mobile gaming, actually majority of players, we call them players, they're women. You're seeing people from age 6 playing on iPhones. They might be playing Angry Birds or one of the other, we call them tactile games out there, to a woman in her 50s playing Scrabble. And I think it's really important that we break through what we call the guilty pleasure, especially for women, that we all play games and let's celebrate it. And with the plethora of devices now that you can play games on, it's actually much more accessible. I
got to say, I don't get where the time came from. The 24-hour day is still the 24-hour day.
Yes.
Before the digital revolution, game playing involved a board or at least a newspaper to do a puzzle on or something like that. They weren't immediately at hand. But where did people somehow miraculously carve out time in their waking hours to obsess over Angry Birds or whatever?
We're in a position now where we have devices at our disposal 24/7. And so what you're seeing is people are really multitasking a lot more. A lot of women will actually play games while they're watching TV late at night, or you'll see people on the trains, on the buses playing a little game on their iPhone. So it's really, the time, we haven't found time, the time is there and we're making better use of our time. The games have a power to transport people, and we see this a lot in terms of when we talk to our consumers, to players around the world, it is a way for them to escape. For some, it's a way to just stop thinking about troubles, and we've seen also that it's also a way for people to connect. They may be very lonely, and so they look at social gaming or multiplayer gaming as a way to connect with others, to build friendships.
On the subject of escape, marketers obviously have an interest because games have become so dominant. They're interested in meeting people there.
Right.
Instead of throwing 30-second spots out at people who aren't actually watching.
Right.
They've realized that they can go to where the people are and where they are truly engaged. On the other hand, if I'm watching a game, I'm in exactly the same way that I've been disgusted to see my movie-going experience and TV that Hollywood demonstrated, that first in the name of verisimilitude would invite brands into a scene in order to make the whole thing realistic, and then next thing you know, completely hoard out both movies and TV to anybody who's checked in bounds. And we were suddenly introduced not to films with a product placement, but shopping malls with a film built around it, right? So how do you avoid the temptation to just go for any deal that presents itself without corrupting the integrity of the game?
The first and most important thing is the creative process. We're in the business of selling people entertainment, and what you see is our creative designers and our producers are actually intimately involved, and they own the products. So we work with brands, and as myself on the marketing side, we're looking for ways to engage players, but it really is about the producer making the calls of, is this right for my game?
Cross your heart and hope to die?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
All right, great. Beatrice, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Beatrice Spaine is the VP of Marketing for Pogo. She's joined us here in the lounge. I am now kicking her out of the lounge, and I'm kicking you out too.